The magic of the open road. There was a time in America when driving wasn't just about getting from one place to another. It was about becoming someone. The second you slid behind the wheel, the world outside seemed to fade away. The soft rumble of the engine, the sunlight bouncing off chrome, and the smell of gasoline and leather, all of it felt like a scene straight out of a Hollywood film. Cars back then weren't just machines. They were characters. They represented dreams, confidence, and freedom. Pure open road freedom. From Detroit to Los Angeles, from small town diners to city lights, the American automobile defined an entire generation. It wasn't about luxury or technology, it was about how it made you feel. So today let us take a drive through memory lane and revisit those icons that made every driver feel like a star on the silver screen. These are the 15 American cars that made you feel like a movie star. Buckle up, the past is waiting. Number 1, 1959. Cadillac Eldorado, the showstopper. If Hollywood ever built a car, it would have looked just like the 1959 Cadillac Eldorado. Those towering tail fins and rocket-shaped taillights didn't just turn heads, they stopped traffic. It wasn't subtle. It was spectacle. People didn't buy an Eldorado to blend in. They bought it to be seen. Elvis Presley had one. So did Frank Sinatra. It was the car of the stars, bold, loud, and dripping in chrome. But as the years rolled on, tastes changed. By the 1970s, the gas crisis made big cars a thing of the past. Still, the Eldorado remains the ultimate symbol of American glamour. The kind of car that made you feel like the main character in your own movie. Number 2, 1967 Ford Mustang. The Rebel's Ride. The 1967 Mustang wasn't just a car, it was an attitude. When Steve McQueen raced his dark green Mustang through the streets of San Francisco in Bullitt, audiences fell in love. That growling V8 and those sharp, confident lines turned the Mustang into the ultimate symbol of rebellion and freedom. It wasn't built for the elite. It was built for everyone who had a little wild in their soul. Even today, when a Mustang engine roars, people still turn their heads. Because this isn't just a piece of metal. It's the sound of independence and the heartbeat of the open road. Number 3, 1957 Chevrolet BelAir. The Golden Girl. Few cars captured the optimism of 1950s America like the 1957 Chevy BelAir. It had gleaming chrome, elegant fins, and a smiling grille that seemed to say, "The future looks bright." Families took it on Sunday drives, teenagers washed it before dates, and everyone agreed. This car was something special. It represented a time when America believed that every day could be better than the last. Though production stopped decades ago, the BelAir's beauty never faded. Even now, at car shows and parades, when one rolls by, people can't help but smile. It's not just nostalgia, it's pride. Number 4, 1963 Corvette Stingray. The Silver Screen Star. Low, sleek, and futuristic, the 1963 Corvette Stingray looked like it belonged in a James Bond film. Its split rear window gave it an unmistakable look, even though it only lasted 1 year. It wasn't just fast, it was art. The Stingray had the style of a sports car from Europe, but the heart of pure American muscle. Collectors treat it like gold today, a piece of automotive history that still turns heads 60 years later. Because true icons don't age, they just get cooler. Number 5, 1970 Dodge Challenger, the Outlaw. The 1970 Dodge Challenger was pure attitude on 4 wheels. It was loud, mean, and unapologetically American. When Vanishing Point hit theaters, that white Challenger became the symbol of freedom and a little bit of defiance. It was a car for dreamers who wanted to outrun their problems and leave the world in the rearview mirror. But as the 1970s brought gas shortages and emissions laws, beasts like this vanished from the streets. Still, every time you see a modern Challenger, you can almost hear that 1970 engine roar, whispering, "Let's go one more round." Number 6, 1956 Ford Thunderbird. The heartthrob, elegant, flirty, effortlessly cool. The 1956 Thunderbird was the car version of a movie romance. 2 seats, just enough chrome, and a soft purr that made every drive feel special. It was the kind of car you could imagine Marilyn Monroe stepping out of, hair blowing, scarf in the wind. It wasn't about speed, it was about style. Over the years, the Thunderbird changed shape, but that first model will always be remembered as the one that stole America's heart. Number 7, 1969 Chevrolet Camaro, born to run. The Camaro was Chevy's answer to the Mustang, and it hit back hard. Sleek, muscular, and ready to race, the '69 Camaro became an instant icon. Teenagers wanted it, rock stars drove it. It was fast, fearless, and the ultimate symbol of cool. From drive-ins to drag strips, it gave a generation their soundtrack, the rumble of an American V8. And even decades later, when a Camaro rolls by, that same excitement still lives in the air. It's not just a car, it's an anthem. Number 8, 1953, Buick Skylark. The dream car. Created to celebrate Buick's 50th anniversary, the '53 Skylark was pure class. It wasn't mass-produced, it was handcrafted, elegant, and expensive. Its smooth curves and chrome accents made it look more like sculpture than transportation. Owning one meant you'd made it. Today, they're incredibly rare. But when one shows up at a car show, it's like seeing a Hollywood legend step out of retirement, still dazzling under the spotlight. Number 9, 1961, Lincoln Continental. The presidential cruiser. If sophistication had a shape, it would look like the 1961 Lincoln Continental. Those rear-hinged suicide doors gave it a sense of quiet authority, the kind of presence that didn't need to shout. Presidents rode in them, movie stars loved them, and it became a timeless symbol of grace on the road. Unlike many cars of its time, the Continental wasn't flashy. It whispered, "I've arrived," without saying a word. Even today, when one glides down the street, it still commands respect. Number 10, 1977, Pontiac Trans Am, the Bandit's Ride. Few cars have movie star energy like the 1977 Trans Am. With that gold Firebird decal, black paint, and T-top roof, it became a pop culture icon thanks to Smokey and the Bandit. Burt Reynolds made it famous, but Americans made it a legend. It represented fun, freedom, and a little bit of mischief. Pontiac may be gone, but the Trans Am air spirit still burns bright, forever racing down some endless highway in our imagination. Number 11, 1965, Shelby Cobra, the American daredevil. Carroll Shelby had a dream: build a car that could outrun Europe's best. So he took a lightweight British roadster and gave it a huge American engine. The result? The 1965 Shelby Cobra, raw, loud, and absolutely fearless. It wasn't a car for everyone, it was a car for the brave. The Cobra didn't just win races, it won hearts. Because sometimes the wildest ideas turn into the greatest legends. Number 12, 1955, Chrysler 300, the gentleman's hot rod. The Chrysler 300 was a car with manners, but muscles hidden under a tailored suit. It was quiet, clean, and powerful enough to make other drivers nervous. Executives loved it, racers respected it. It proved that speed didn't have to scream. It could speak softly and carry a big engine. The 300 was the gentleman's muscle car, equal parts charm and challenge. Number 13, 1964, Pontiac GTO, the game changer. This was the car that started it all. The birth of the muscle car. Pontiac engineers broke the rules by dropping a massive V8 into a mid-size body, and America fell in love. The GTO was powerful, affordable, and just a little bit dangerous. It was the kind of car that made your parents nervous and your friends jealous. When it hit the streets, it didn't just change cars, it changed culture. Because once you drove a GTO, ordinary just wasn't enough anymore. Number 14, 1951, Hudson Hornet, the racing underdog. At first glance, the Hudson Hornet didn't look like a racer. It was rounded, heavy, and simple. But under that modest exterior was a winner. Its low center of gravity gave it incredible handling, and it dominated NASCAR in the early 50s. The Hornet proved that brains could beat brawn. Even Pixar paid tribute decades later, turning it into the wise old Doc Hudson in cars. It's the underdog story every American loves. Quiet, humble, and unforgettable. Number 15, 1981, DeLorean DMC-12, the Time Traveler. Brushed stainless steel, gull-wing doors. The DeLorean didn't just belong on the road, it belonged in the future. Thanks to Back to the Future, it became one of the most famous cars of all time. It wasn't perfect. It was underpowered and overpriced. But none of that mattered once it hit 88 miles per hour. The DeLorean captured something bigger than speed. It captured imagination. Even now, when one appears at a car show, people smile. Because for a second, we all believe time travel might just be possible. Where the road never ends. From shiny Cadillacs to roaring Mustangs, these cars weren't just vehicles. They were dreams on wheels. They carried us through love stories, road trips, and summer nights we'll never forget. Maybe your parents had one. Maybe you washed one in your driveway. Or maybe you just saw them in old movies, wishing you could take the wheel for one ride. Each of these cars told a story about who we were and what we believed in. A story of freedom, confidence, and the American road. If this trip down memory lane made you smile, hit that like button, share your favorite classic in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Because here on American Rewind, the engines never stop, the stories never fade, and the open road is always calling. Until next time, keep your heart in the past and your eyes on the horizon. Because some legends never park. They just keep driving.